Good morning, and thank you for attending the first Virtual Society Awards and Annual Business Meeting. I am Kanchipuram N. Gunalan, the 2020 president of this great organization. Today, we recognize the recipients of ASCE's Leadership and Society Awards, receive the State of the Society report, and install the Society's new officers. The leadership of the Society works diligently throughout the year to act on numerous issues that affect the profession. Please join me in thanking the ASCE Board of Direction, the Region Boards of Governors, presidents of our institutes, and organizational entities from around the world as they join us today. We are honored to have many of ASCE's past presidents, distinguished members, life members, and fellows in the audience. And we cannot forget to welcome our future leaders, the students and younger members in attendance here today. Most importantly, we are pleased to have you, our members and guests, joining us for this inaugural virtual event. It is now my pleasure to ask ASCE's Executive Director, Tom Smith, to present his report to the membership of the State of the Society.
Thank you, civil engineers. Thank you for everything you've done to keep moving our society and profession forward during this unprecedented time. I hope you're enjoying your time at this year's virtual convention. We've made a lot of great progress this year. Let's look at what we've accomplished. We seamlessly transitioned to a virtual environment when faced with the unexpected challenge of COVID-19. We delivered a variety of professional and technical conferences and programs virtually, including the Structures Congress, Exceed Teaching Workshops, National Department Heads Council, International Low Impact Development Conference, CI Student Days, UESI Pipelines Conference, Presidents and Governors Forum, and Leader Orientation. Most recently, we held the first virtual technical conference, a cross-disciplinary institute collaboration that attracted more than 700 registrants and generated net revenue to support other engineering programs. At ASCE's second India conference in Calcutta, held in late February just before the pandemic really took hold, President Gunalan and I were pleased that more than 500 engineers across India were in attendance. After the pandemic hit, our India section followed up with 2 virtual webinars, which combined reached nearly 3,000 engineers in over 20 countries. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we quickly found many new ways to provide members with the content they needed and wanted. We conducted and shared COVID-19 surveys, tracking the impact of the virus on the industry and providing relevant content. We created a COVID-19 resources webpage with many COVID-19 resources and virtual offerings that continue to this day. We offered special weekly virtual roundtables and e-learning webinars on a variety of relevant topics identified with survey input. We published Civil Engineering Magazine exclusively online with special digital content. We delivered a special Tuesday edition of the ASCE News Weekly e-newsletter to promote the volume of new content and keep members informed of the rapidly changing programming. We created a COVID-19 Plot Points podcast series, talking with civil engineers every day for a month, and firmly embraced current technology while actively promoting a more virtual ASCE that reaches more people and appeals to a broader global audience of young civil engineers. Stay tuned, for there is much more to come. In November, we will launch the Civil Engineering Source. This new website will feature an online hub offering news, features, technical highlights, industry news, multimedia and user-generated content, and a new digital platform for ASCE magazines, including Civil Engineering and Geostrata, as well as companion daily newsletter offerings of personalized AI-driven news briefs. While ASCE has a strong financial foundation and a healthy balance sheet, the COVID-19 pandemic exacerbated challenges with funding a wide variety of valued and impactful programs. As a consequence, we've implemented numerous efficiency and cost-cutting measures to ensure the Society's long-term success and sustainability, including reducing staff travel, reducing volunteer travel, enhancing virtual meeting opportunities, reducing administrative expenses, putting more focus and resources on core activities that drive member value and key strategic initiatives. We also implemented a new staff organizational structure that is more nimble, flexible, and responsive, with fewer management layers, new reporting relationships, and a more broadly distributed focus on key initiatives like sustainability, technical excellence, innovation, and global activities. These changes will contribute to the Society's long-term success and reinforce our core strengths. Additionally, following extensive communications, including member webinars and correspondence from President Gunalan, the membership approved changes to the Society's governing documents that allow for more streamlined administration and more equitable voting rights for dues-paying members. Following the horrific death of George Floyd, we prepared a message of unity and support to the Society membership from President Gunalan, Mosaic Chair Yvette Pearson, and myself. This was a deeply troubling and emotional issue for the country, and it was important to have an appropriate message of support and to affirm ASCE's commitment to serve the profession and the public with the highest standards of integrity, fairness, dignity, and respect. It was nice to receive so many favorable and supportive member responses, and we quickly published a special commentary by Yvette Pearson in ASCE News and hosted a virtual roundtable on engineering a culture of inclusion in the face of injustice. Over the last year, we've continued to support related activities of Mosaic, which stands for Members of Society Advancing an Inclusive Culture, with examples including webinars, articles in ASCE News, and ASCE Plot Points podcasts. Stay tuned for more as the Mosaic team prepares a new best practices guide and begins work on a diversity, equity, and inclusion video for release next year. To help prepare us for the future and support the Society's goals for student engagement and transition, we improved communications with students. After conducting focus sessions with students and faculty and practitioner advisors, we developed a student ambassador pilot program. These ASCE superfans helped spread our message to their peers on the social platforms used by students. For the 2020 through 2021 academic year, the program has expanded from 18 to 27, with at least one ambassador in each ASCE student conference region and a stronger focus on promoting ASCE Society-level membership. Some of these ambassadors participate in student presidential groups, another program to strengthen our communications with students. Perhaps most exciting and following up on last year's debut of Future World Vision's first 4D scenario, the Floating City, we're releasing this year the Mega City 2070, anticipating the changes in technology and society in urban settings and their implications for civil engineering over the next 50 years. We're also developing a Future World Vision education module for university faculty to teach foundational concepts to undergraduate students. Additionally, we're recruiting this year qualified members to participate in a closed beta test of the megacity. If chosen, they will get exclusive access to the fully functional megacity visualization prototype and can help shape the final product. The deadline to register is November the 8th. At the same time, we continue this year to put on dozens of conferences, hundreds of continuing education programs, publish over 50 books, over 4,000 journal technical papers, notes, and case studies, distributed to over 1,800 institutions worldwide. We're also preparing for public comment on a new outcome-based, life-cycle sustainable infrastructure standard, so look for more on that shortly. We published the report COVID-19's Impacts on America's Infrastructure that provided a snapshot of 12 infrastructure sectors, outlining projected revenue impacts due to the pandemic while offering legislative solutions for Congress. The report evaluated the pandemic's effects on airports, bridges, dams, drinking water, energy, inland waterways, parks, ports, roads, schools, transit, and wastewater infrastructure, and offers solutions for Congress to consider in their long-term economic recovery strategy. 7 state report cards were also released: Puerto Rico, Colorado, Mississippi, Maryland, Rhode Island, Wisconsin, and Arizona. This summer, we released 2 Failure to Act economic studies on water and wastewater, as well as on electricity. These reports document the persistent failure to adequately invest in our aging infrastructure and the impacts of such underinvestment on the economy in terms of GDP, jobs, personal disposable income, and business sales. And coming in March 2021,
it's really important that what any system has, no matter what it is, water or otherwise, that there's an independent view of its condition to monitor and measure performance so that the rest of us can answer the question of what to do about it.
Thanks in part to the high-profile ASCE report card, American voters are now demanding action. In a January 2018 Quinnipiac poll, 87% of American voters supported increasing spending for roads, bridges, mass transit, and other infrastructure.
When the average citizen sees the grades come out on infrastructure, it should be very, very alarming to them. I see this as a national emergency.
Democrats and Republicans talked about this as a way of financing infrastructure when the American Society of Civil Engineers 2017 report card gave our nation's infrastructure an overall D+ grade.
To do something, we need a measure and an enterprise that has the integrity to deliver a measure that can be believed and acted upon. And I believe the ASCE measuring component that they've been doing, grades for infrastructure, is the fundamental measure in the United States that is the launch pad to improve the infrastructure that's so important for every life and every job.
I hope you agree ASCE is the fastest way to your best future. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your time at the convention.
Thank you, Tom. It's a pleasure to recognize the recipients of our first group of awards.
The Walter L. Huber Civil Engineering Research Prizes are represented by Amir Aga Kauchak, Michelle Barbato, John Fortner, and Ji Young Ren. Professor Aga Kauchak researches hydrologic extremes, including droughts, coastal floods, and compound natural hazards at the University of California, Irvine. At the University of California, Davis, Professor Barbato has developed a novel framework for performance-based hurricane engineering. Yale University Associate Professor Fortner focuses on engineering interfacial processes and materials, typically in aqueous systems and at the nanoscale. Princeton University Professor Wren is a leader in resource recovery for transforming wastewater infrastructure. The Collingwood Prize recognizes an outstanding paper with significant contribution to the engineering management profession, clarity and expression of presentation, and uniqueness of approach. Bina Ajmera is an assistant professor at North Dakota State University. The Edmund Friedman Young Engineer Award for Professional Achievement recognizes public service outside recipients' professional careers. Amanda Tanaka is a project engineer at Fukunaga and Associates in Honolulu. Among her many contributions is her service as a Y-Section Younger Member Forum website chair. The Younger Member Group Award recognizes outstanding contributions to younger members' sections and branches. Jesse Gormley represents the Philadelphia Younger Member Forum, honored for creating its civil engineering club for middle school students, making it the first such program in the U.S. Skylar Jones represents the Mississippi Section Younger Member Group, honored for producing engaging STEM activities for the Hines Community College's Career Development Academy Summer Camp, serving middle and high school students. The Daniel W. Mead Prize for Younger Members recognizes the author of a paper on professional ethics. Robert Sauby is a water resources engineer with Hanson, Allen & Luce in Utah. The Civil Engineering History and Heritage Award recognizes an individual for contributions that increase the public's appreciation of the history and heritage of civil engineering. Among his many contributions, Bernard Dennis coordinated with the National Park Service and the C&O Canal Association for the restoration of the Monocacy Aqueduct. The Edmund Friedman Professional Recognition Award honors substantial contributions to the status of the engineering profession. Dennis Truax is the J.T. White Endowed Chair in Mississippi State University's Civil and Environmental Engineering Department.
The members of ASCE Board of Direction are dedicated volunteers who donate numerous hours of their personal time and energy to serve you during their 3-year term. Please join me in thanking these board members who stepped down from service today. Kwame Ajari, Region 9 Director, Marsha Anderson Bomar, Technical Director, Anthony Shafi, Region 1 Director, Roger Millar, At-Large Director, Peter Moore, Region 5 Director, Jennifer Epp, Treasurer, and Robin Kemper, Past President. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all ASCE members, I extend our sincere appreciation and gratitude to you for giving so much of yourself to the profession and ASCE. Thank you for your service. Before we begin recognizing our next group of award winners, you can see more about the actual awards and view recipients' acceptance remarks and conventions at the website. Now, our second group of awardees.
The State of the Art of Civil Engineering Award recognizes a publication for its review and interpretation of state-of-the-art scientific and technical information. The lead editor is Penn State Associate Professor Sha-Feng Liu. His co-editor is Jay Zhang, an engineer with Corallo Engineers in Phoenix. The Professional Practice Ethics and Leadership Award recognizes an engineer practitioner's incident-specific or career-long application of ethics to achieve conspicuous success in a leadership role. Brock Berry is professor in the Civil and Mechanical Engineering Department at the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. The Wellington Prize recognizes a paper for its outstanding contribution to transportation engineering. Lead author Ran Kao is a postdoctoral researcher at the City College of New York. Other members of the writing team are Professor Anil Agrawal and graduate student Wader Wong, also at CCNY. Sharif El Tawil is the Antoine E. Nauman Collegiate Professor of Civil and Environmental Engineering at the University of Michigan. Xiaozhen Zhu is Senior Structural Engineer at WSP USA in New York. The Civil Engineering Entrepreneur of the Year Award recognizes entrepreneurs who have created successful private sector organizations and/or expanded the civil engineering horizon. Malcolm G. McLaren is being recognized for founding and leading M.G. McLaren Engineering and Land Surveying, a multidiscipline consulting engineering firm providing custom, creative, innovative solutions for over 15,000 projects over the last 42 years. The Rudolph Herring Medal recognizes outstanding papers that contribute to the advancement of environmental engineering. Lead author S.C. Chen is Associate Dean and Professor at National Central University in Taiwan. Y.T. Xu is Assistant Professor at National University of Kaohsiung in Taiwan. Rao Sorimpali is President of Global Institute for Energy, Environment, and Sustainability in Kansas. Qian Zhang is a civil engineering professor at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Jimmy Cao is chair professor at National Sun Yat-sen University in Taiwan. The Journal of Management and Engineering Best Peer Reviewed Paper Award recognizes an outstanding paper with significant contribution to the engineering management profession, clarity and expression of presentation, and uniqueness of approach. Young Jib Haim is an assistant professor of construction science at Texas A&M University, and Jae-yoon Kim is a graduate research assistant at Texas A&M University.
Mr. President, our only items of business today are an update on Board of Direction actions impacting the membership and the official tellers report. The Board of Direction approved this week a comprehensive overhaul of the ASCE Code of Ethics, effective on October 26, 2020, that includes an improved format, a clear hierarchy, enforceability, and positive, concise, modernized language. The board also approved on second consideration a recommendation to the membership for approval of an amendment to the Society's constitution to allow student members the right to vote. This amendment will appear on the May 2021 election ballot for membership consideration. Further information on the approved Code of Ethics, the proposed amendment to the Constitution to allow students the right to vote, and many other actions approved by the Board of Direction this week will be provided on the Society's website and in other ASCE communications media. Finally, on behalf of the Tellers Committee Chair, Kim Hughes, and the other committee members, I can officially report that the nominees slated for installation this morning as officers of ASCE have received the majority vote from the membership and can be sworn into service on the ASCE Board of Direction.
Thank you, Tom. It is now my pleasure to introduce the incoming class of ASCE board members. John C. Volz, Region 1 Director. Kevin D. Nielsen, Technical Region Director. William L. Pratt, 4th Region 5 Director. Kenneth H. Rosenfield, Region 9 Director. Elizabeth Rudas, At-Large Director. F. J. Burris, Assistant Treasurer. Maria C. Lehman, Treasurer. Dennis D. Truax, President-elect. And Jean-Louis Briot, President. This is a great group of dedicated ASCE members, and I thank them for stepping forward to take on the great responsibilities associated with leading the society. I know each of you will serve well and advance ASCE to new heights. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you, do you now, in the presence of these fellow members, pledge yourselves to discharge faithfully the duties of the office to which you've been elected or appointed? If so, please respond, I will.
I will.
Please repeat after me the Engineer's Creed. As an engineer, I dedicate my professional knowledge
I dedicate my professional knowledge
to the advancement and betterment of human welfare,
to the advancement and betterment of human welfare.
I pledge to give the utmost of performance
I pledge to give the utmost of performance
to participate in none but honest enterprise,
to participate in none but honest enterprise,
to live and work according to the laws of humanity,
to live and work according to the laws of humanity,
and the highest standards of professional conduct.
and the highest standards of professional conduct.
To place service before profit,
To place service before profit,
the honor and standing of my profession before personal advantage,
The honor and standing of my profession before personal advantage,
and the public welfare above all other considerations.
and
the public welfare above other considerations.
I pledge to uphold the Constitution,
I pledge to uphold the Constitution,
bylaws, and code of ethics of the American Society of Civil Engineers.
bylaws, and code of ethics of the American Society of Civil Engineers.
Thank you. Members of ASCE, without your wholehearted support, these individuals will not be able to fulfill their pledge so faithfully given. I urge you to support them as they guide this society through the coming year, assist them when called upon for help, encourage and advise them, and refrain from unjust criticism of their plans and actions. Let these pledges of your commitment that ASCE may be an increasingly greater force for the well-being of all citizens of the world whose lives are impacted by civil engineering projects. Ladies and gentlemen, you have indicated your willingness to serve, and I hereby declare you are inducted into the office for which you were elected or appointed. I charge you with the responsibility for upholding and enforcing the governing documents of the American Society of Civil Engineers and with such other responsibilities that may be assigned to you. I also grant unto you the rights and privileges attendant to the office you now hold. Congratulations and welcome to the ASCE Board of Direction. I would now like to introduce the President-elect of ASCE, Dennis D. Truax. Dennis, it is my privilege to congratulate you on being elected by your peers and to bestow on you the ASCE President-elect pin. I know Jean-Louis and I are looking forward to working with you this year.
Thank you, Gunnar. I'm looking forward to continuing the work of the Society and doing great things with you and Jean-Louis. On behalf of the membership, I'd like to thank you for your leadership as provided throughout this past year, especially acknowledging the challenges presented by COVID-19. Personally, I appreciate your dedication, leadership, and friendship. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Each year, the President has the privilege of selecting dedicated members to receive awards for service to country, ASCE, and the profession. In this last awards presentation, it is my distinct honor to present the individuals selected for this year's William H. Wisely Award and the President's Medal.
The Alfred Nobel Prize is a joint society award recognizing a technical paper of exceptional merit. Lead author Mustafa Mashal is an associate professor at Idaho State University. Alessandro Palermo is a professor at New Zealand's University of Canterbury. The Young Government Civil Engineer of the Year Award is presented to a young civil engineer who has demonstrated leadership and made significant contributions to public service engineering. Edith Martinez Guerra's contributions to ASCE and her public service make her a deserving recipient for this award. The Government Civil Engineer of the Year Award recognizes civil engineers employed in public service. Majed Al-Gandour is being recognized for his exemplary performance and dedication as a civil engineer at a government agency, and for contributions to the profession through employment at the North Carolina Department of Transportation. The Norman Medal recognizes a paper for meritorious contributions to engineering science. The writing team is Chong Tang, Senior Research Fellow, and Kok Kwang Poon, Distinguished Professor, both at the National University of Singapore. The ASCE President's Award commemorates the nation's first president, who was a land surveyor. Lieutenant General Todd Semonite recently retired as the 54th Chief of Engineers, Commanding General of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. The ASCE President's Medal recognizes contributions of eminent engineers to the profession, the society, or the public. William Kelly retired as Director of External Affairs at the American Society for Engineering Education. Ryan Cobb is Project Engineer at TO Engineers in Wyoming. The William H. Wisely American Civil Engineer Award is presented to outstanding engineers for their continuing efforts to promote appreciation for the history, tradition, developments, and technical and professional activities of the Society. Sarah McEwen is Water Resource Manager in AECOM's Mississippi office. Mario Riccozzi is Manager of Design for the Greater New Haven Water Pollution Control Authority in Connecticut. Camila Saviz is Professor and Chair of Civil Engineering at California's University of the Pacific. ASCE congratulates all 2020 award recipients on their outstanding achievements.
President Brio, it is now my pleasure and privilege to present to you President's gavel and pin.
Thank you, Gunnar. I got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your 2021 President of ASCE, Jean-Louis Brio.
Thank you, Gunnar. It is my honor to bestow on you, as my first presidential act, the ASCE Past Present's pin, and thank you for your leadership this past year. I look forward to our continued service together on the ASCE Board of Direction.
Louis.
Past President Guna, this has indeed been a year full of challenges. Despite all the hurdles placed before you, you led the society with integrity, you never swayed in your beliefs, and your steady, calm leadership. It has been an honor and a pleasure to serve with you. As a token of our appreciation, it is my pleasure to present to you a collage capturing the highlights of your presidential year. The inscription reads, K.N. Gunalan, PhD, PE, DGE, Fellow ASCE. In a year of uncertainty and significant challenges, your leadership and strength as ASCE president never faltered. You guided the society and the profession during a time of transformation, calling on civil engineers worldwide to be at the forefront of change. You championed initiatives to create a more nimble, transparent, and inclusive organization that ensures no civil engineer is left behind. You served as an inspiration to ASCE's global community, forging lifelong connections and friendships along the way. Your dedication and efforts have helped pave the way for future generations to be bolder and more innovative. With the foundation you have laid, ASCE will not only sustain itself in the future, but will flourish. Thanks to your service, we can build a better tomorrow. Congratulations, Guna, and thank you for a job very, very well done.
Thank you, Tom.
Jean-Louis Brio has been elected to serve as the 2021 president of ASCE. Please join me in watching a brief video about his life before we receive his inaugural address.
You have just handed me a beautiful 168-year-old jewel called ASCE. I pledge to handle it with great care and to work hard to make it shine ever brighter. I want to thank all those who have contributed to making ASCE the tremendous success story that it is. I also want to congratulate all of you because you are doing something extraordinary. Right now, you are going over 100,000 kilometers per hour. I told this to my son Patrick when he was 7. He looked at me with a strange look and said, "What do you mean, Papa?" I said, "You see, you're on the Earth, and the Earth is going around the sun. The orbit is about 1 billion kilometers, And the Earth is doing that in 365 days. So when you divide 1 billion kilometers by 365 days times 24 hours, you get over 100,000 kilometers per hour. Patrick was impressed, but he asked, Papa, if I'm going so fast, how come I can't feel the wind? Wow. I struggled with the answer. I said, well, we're both stuck to the Earth by gravity. We're both going at the same speed, and there is no longitudinal acceleration. It's like being in a car going very fast in the middle of a dark desert with no trees as reference. Plus, the atmosphere protects us, and there is no wind once you get in space beyond Earth. Well, Patrick was not too impressed by my answer, but his question was wonderful. So here you are, all of you, going over 100,000 kilometers per hour, doing this remarkable thing, and you cannot feel the wind. ASCE is doing remarkable things. And I want you to feel the ASCE wind. I want you to feel the Dream Big ASCE wind. I want you to feel the Future World Vision ASCE wind. I want you to feel the networking power ASCE wind. I want you to feel the wind of ASCE as your professional family. Indeed, ASCE is our professional family. In life, we have two main families, our blood family and our professional family. We would not think twice about helping our children, our spouse, our parents, if they needed something. We should have the same reaction when it comes to ASCE. Similar to the words of President Kennedy, ask not what ASCE can do for you, ask what you can do for ASCE. My dream as a young boy growing up in France was to be successful. As my career evolved, my dream evolved with it, and it became to want to help others. In a way, my dream has come true. It's now my turn to help you make your dream come true. And I cannot think of a better advice than to tell you to continue to be an ASCE member, to get involved, and to connect with your professional peers. As a member, you are part of a 150,000 person team, and many of them wish to help you. As your president, I want to help you feel the wind by concentrating on communication with members. I believe that ASCE offers remarkable value. One of our biggest challenges is that our members are not fully aware of all that ASCE does for them. So I've created 3 meetings and groups to help communicate ASCE's value. 1, a town hall with the ASCE president, an opportunity for members to virtually meet with me once a month to ask questions. The first one is on 2 November 2020 at 12 noon Central Time. 2, the Student Presidential Group, a working group of more than 20 students who work directly with me to solve the most important ASCE problems the students face. 3, the Region and Institute Presidential Group. I will meet with the 9 institute presidents and the 10 region directors to further develop the cooperation between them, listen to their advice, and create action items for the ASCE board to consider. So please remember to treat ASCE like your professional family and to help whenever possible. You are my professional family, and I will always do my best to help you. But remember this, I want you to feel the ASCE wind. Thank you.
I was born in La Rochelle, in France, on 15 September 1949. One of the things I enjoyed doing is to build sand castles with the wet sand near the sea, build those with my friends. I enjoyed rugby because it was teamwork, and I learned a lot on the rugby field to not be afraid. My parents forced me to play the piano, especially my mother, and they said you have to learn to play the piano. And I told them I really don't like learning the piano. I much prefer playing tennis. And they said, no piano, no tennis. And I said, okay, I'll learn the piano. Yes. My father is the one that told me that I shall be a civil engineer, so I didn't choose civil engineering. My father was very positive about America, the United States. He talked about Kennedy, and I listened. You know, at the time, the black and white television, you would see Kennedy talk about we will be in the moon by the end of the decade. Kennedy saying,
"Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country."
I thought that was pretty awesome, and I thought, this is a country I want to be here. I went to university in Paris to get my bachelor's degree. I applied to go to do my master's degree, and I was accepted at the University of New Brunswick. This is 1972. I'm at the airport in Charles de Gaulle in Paris, and I'm saying goodbye to my parents. And I turn to my father and I say, you know, I'm going to a country where I know nobody and I don't speak the language. Do you have any good advice? He said, son, it's simple. The minute you get there, you find yourself a girlfriend, she will solve all your problems. And so I met Janet, and she's been solving my problems ever since.
I met Jean-Louis in New Brunswick at the University of New Brunswick in Fredericton. He played piano for our Christmas dinner. I sat next to him because I was proctor, and he asked me how for a date, he said, this weekend. He didn't ask me when and I felt sorry for him and said yes. We got married in Dalhousie, New Brunswick, 45 years ago.
I live in College Station, Texas, and I work at Texas A&M University. I came here in 1978.
Here are some examples of pressure meters.
My father is a rock. He is somebody who is dependable and loving and caring and really a wonderful person to have been raised by. I couldn't have asked for anybody better.
We were a really loyal and tight family as my sister and I were young, spending a lot of time together and not a lot of external people, partly because we were just so much on the move with each of our tennis tournaments and other activities.
My father sees his students as an extension of his family. You know, they're people that are coming from all over the world and that he gets to take care of, educate, and help them to be successful in the world, just like he did with my brother and I.
Well, around 2006, Congressman Chet Edwards came to Texas A&M and asked a few of us to help the country with the erosion of the cliffs of Normandy because they were eroding, and some of the monuments, the historical monuments, were about to fall into the sea. I went there and found myself at the bottom of those cliffs that are 30 meters high, and I said, there's no way I can climb those cliffs, let alone people shooting at me from the top. The 200 rangers, young people the age of my son at the time, who were ready to climb those cliffs and risk their lives, essentially to come and deliver my parents. That was big. Forever grateful. You know, when you're president of ASCE, you have to realize that you're president for 1 year. And while you may have a bucket list of, say, 20 things, you cannot do that. You have to concentrate on the top 3, let's say. And my top 3 are communication with members, bringing the institutes and the regions closer together, further develop their collaboration, and then 1/3 of all 150,000 members of ASCE are students, make a big difference in the students' transition rate. I really would like to change that percentage and increase it significantly.
I think that my father will be a great president of ASCE. He will be passionate and driven to make it the absolute best organization possible.
He will see members as being part of his family, and if somebody needs something, he will do his best to accomplish it.
Knowing that my dad will be the president of ASCE, I'm really proud of him and excited for the association.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have enjoyed the 2020 convention so far. Please remember to go to the convention website to hear the acceptance remarks of our award winners and to learn more about the Society's awards. We look forward to seeing you next year in Chicago. The annual business meeting of ASCE is adjourned.